Game 1 of the NBA Finals, mañana, 8:30 Eastern Time, ABC. Indiana, Oklahoma City. Game 1 in Oklahoma City.
Let's go.
I don't care what size markets these are. Watch, people. Watch. Like, do you ever turn on the Chiefs and the Bills and go, you know what? This game doesn't mean much to me. It really doesn't. Like, I wish more people lived in these two metropolitan areas. Just not enough people in Kansas City. There aren't enough people there. And are we including, Kansas and Missouri in the DMA and Buffalo? Buffalo's just a small town. Like, I don't want to watch this game. So shut up with the market size. It's going to be a great final. Mike Vorkunov knows that. Covers the NBA for The Athletic. And Mike joins us now. How are you, Mike?
I'm doing good. I've been on this anti-ratings screed as much as you the last few days.
Why does it matter?
I don't know. We've all, one of my colleagues, Andrew Marchand, I think he has a thing he likes to say on social media that everyone wants to cover sports media. Everyone wants to talk about ratings and talk about how a show or a game or a finals or whatever will rate and how many people will watch it. And just, it doesn't matter to actually enjoying the thing itself.
Listen, I know it does matter in our bubble, and I do think that we in the sports media maybe lose sight of what the average fan and lose the perspective of what the average fan cares about by constantly, and it's worse in social media in this era, because we're always seeing the people, our peers, talking about it, and people like Andrew Marchand, who obviously I follow and I respect, talking about it. It does matter at Pico and Motor here in LA, at Fox, and it matters in Bristol with ESPN. I get all of that, but I don't know. It's really about star power, I think, in the NBA, Mike, more than market size. I guess it is fair to ask, is there enough star power in this series to get the casual fan? Because that does matter. We know it's a great matchup on paper. And Tyrese Halliburton and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, your MVP, are two fantastic players. But is there enough to get the casual fan?
Yeah, I would just like to say, I guess I'm a giant hypocrite because I wrote a story about this whole ratings thing. So whatever I just said 5 minutes ago, obviously, I'm being hypocritical about. I think you're right that star power probably matters more. Having done some reporting about this and just talking to people about it, like when Cleveland was in the finals, they're, roughly between 15 to 20th largest market in the country when they were in there. The finals ratings didn't suffer because LeBron James was there, right? We've seen this repeatedly, that if the right stars in the finals, people will tune in, people will watch NBA games with them. And I think that's what people respond to. So I think you're right that the stars have to be big enough. I don't know if they are this year. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander won the MVP award. He's a big star for NBA fans. I don't know if he's a large enough star for more casual fans, right? And that's who the finals are trying to bring in. And same thing for Tyrese Halliburton. But I think in the NBA, they're kind of looking at this as a situation where it's maybe a little bit of short-term pain, where maybe the ratings will drop, although it doesn't really matter for them because, again, they have their next media deal already locked up. They'll get $75 billion over the next 11 years, no matter what. And they can see that payoff over the next few years, where this platform allows and makes more people want to tune into Thunder and Pacers games for the next few seasons.
Talking to Mike Vorkunov, who covers the NBA for The Athletic and a lot on the business side as well. Mike, I was in Paris a couple of weeks ago, 10 days ago, walking down the street, passing the NBA store. And obviously, it's not just unique to Paris. It is an international game. I'm curious, without a huge name international player in this series, what's the international appeal? Because the NBA has obviously gone far, has a far bigger reach internationally than what the NFL is trying to do or Major League Baseball has.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting for sure. We don't see Giannis Antetokounmpo. We don't see Nikola Jokic as we had in the previous few years. Obviously, Steph Curry is a brand name all around the globe, right? Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is Canadian, but that's on the same side of the Atlantic Ocean as the United States of America. And so I think in that case, you're kind of hoping, if you're the NBA, that fans tune in because it's the finals and they're in for the teams. And NBA teams have gone to Europe over the last decade, let's say, trying to build up their own profiles and build up their fan bases and followings there, that are, where fans are watching for them instead of for the French player that's on their team if you're in France, or the German player, or the Spanish player, whatever that may be. They want to build kind of like their own independent fan bases. And so that will help in that regard too. The Pacers were in France in January for 2 NBA games there. So we'll see if there's any carryover for them. And the Thunder are so good, and they have a few really good players, that maybe fans tune in just to watch them play and see the next generation of stars.
Yeah, interesting point. I'd forgotten about the trip to France earlier this year for the Pacers. And as for the Canadian thing for SGA, I bet you there are a whole bunch of fans that didn't realize he was Canadian until the Olympics last summer. Oh, wait a minute. He's Canadian? Okay, cool. Hi. Oh, wow. That's a good team. Okay, cool. Anyway, talking to Mike Vorkunov from The Athletic here. Mike, from a pure basketball perspective, curious your 2 cents. You got 2 teams that, play great fast break defense, and 2 teams that love to run. Styles make fights. This one's fascinating.
Yeah, I think the actual basketball could be awesome. Everyone talks about the Pacers and how fast they play, and speed and pace were such a big key for their victory against the Knicks, and the Knicks couldn't keep up. Well, guess what? OKC's played faster all year long, right? Like, this could be a track meet type of game. And in terms of aesthetic, that's a really attractive type of basketball. And they're both great passing teams. The Thunder have the ability to lock you down defensively, so that'll be a friction to this game, to this entire series, really. And Halliburton is such a fun passer and shooter, and Pascal Siakam, to me, is a fun type of player because he likes to get out and transition and dunk and do all those things that are nice for fans to watch, and for NBA fans or casual fans to watch. So I think this has the potential, if it goes long enough, and that's the big kind of qualifier hanging over all this. If it goes long enough, the games could be great to watch, just because the type of basketball that the 2 teams like to play, and because they can play with depth, and it can really lean into playing fast, rotating guys in, and being able to score, but in a way that, there's enough friction there that it still looks entertaining instead of too easy.
I also think for those 2 guards you just mentioned, obviously one just won an MVP. This is their stage. This is their moment. This is from a purely business perspective, this is their chance on the biggest stage to cash in, to make their name, right? This is their, go get the brass ring and the Larry O'Brien moment.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, this is the type of thing where I think if you win the title, it can really stamp you as one of the NBA's biggest stars for years to come. And there are just so many marketing possibilities downstream of that, right? The NBA seems to produce the biggest kind of cultural icon types of athletes, because the players are all visible. You can see their faces. That, basketball just tends to be that type of sport that attracts marketing interest. And we haven't seen SGA in that many commercials outside of that one AT&T commercial that I hope I never see again. And so this could be a way for him to, get a much bigger shoe deal the next time around, or be in a lot of commercials. Heck, even Nikola Jokic, who notably hates doing any kind of media, started appearing in a commercial after the Nuggets won the NBA title. And so for Tyrese Halliburton, who has this great personality, this vibrant type of personality, this could be a way for him to jump into the national mainstream as well. And so Jalen Williams, Chet Holmgren, Pascal Siakam, as I said, Andrew Nembhard, these are all potential jumping off points for any number of these guys to then use in the next few years going forward, and for America to really get to know all of them.
Mike Vorkunov from The Athletic. Are you not a Christina Aguilera fan? Come on, man. No?
The nice thing is,
of all the spots that ran every single break, that is definitely one of them. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm done with it as well. All right, moving on. Let's. I want to tap the base on the Knicks as well, because when the Knicks are good, and it's been a long, long time, I think it's better for everybody. It's better for the NBA. I'm not one of these people. Going back to our initial conversation about the ratings that thinks that it has to be New York or it's awful. I'm not that person. But you know what? I'm happy for Knicks fans. And the celebrations on 7th Avenue were great. They were good TV, and I think it's good for everybody. But what happened yesterday, I don't know if it's good for anybody. And now James Dolan's looking for a new head coach. Mike, how is the rest of the league viewing a decision to blow out a head coach 2 wins away from the finals, $30 million left on an extension that hasn't even kicked in yet. And unless we're all missing something, no obvious replacement in hand.
Yeah, that's the kind of the interesting part, right? If you're going to fire a head coach after a team does the best it has done in a season in 25 years, you would think that maybe someone had been lined up already or there's an inkling of it. To this point, that hasn't happened yet. I think the response I got from people around the NBA yesterday when I talked to them was not so much surprise that Tom Thibodeau had been fired. I think there was some uncertainty about his job status going into the playoffs. Some belief maybe the win over the Boston Celtics would help him keep his job, but obviously the Eastern Conference Finals also wasn't a great showing for Thibodeau. So I don't know if there's, some kind of like great shock that he got fired. There's obviously some belief that he could have kept his job, but that's a choice that the Knicks made. President Leon Rose, owner James Dolan, that's their prerogative. But when you do this, you would think that you have somebody lined up, but it looks like they're going to be going through a search process, and you really have to make sure you nail this next coaching hire because Tom Thibodeau, and he has some warts, is a great NBA head coach. And so you got to make sure that the guy you get to replace him is at least as good, if not better, and will do things demonstrably better than Thibodeau would have done. Because what Thibodeau did was basically rejuvenate the Knicks, right? Like his first season there, they were in the playoffs when everyone thought that they'd be a lottery team. They got him to the Eastern Conference Finals. Again, something they hadn't done in 25 years. The results have been pretty great. So now you got to find the guy who will optimize this roster, which also has, some faults of its own that the front office built. So it's, it's going to be an interesting choice. It's going to be an interesting choice for the Knicks to see what they do next.
You got a name? Give me a name here, Mike. Who do you like?
I think the ones that jump to mind are, Nuggets head coach Mike Malone, Taylor Jenkins, who was fired by the Grizzlies in April. I'd be interested to see, if James Borrego gets a chance. I'd be interested to see, some other names that are obviously not coming to mind right now, but I think those are the first kind of names that jump out to me. Those guys who have pedigree. I don't know. Do you hire a first-time head coach when you're a team this close to the finals and you have title aspirations? That seems like it might be a little bit difficult to do. And I'm curious to see where this coaching search goes.
Yeah, I'm with you. I wouldn't do that. You hire a first-time head coach, he's gone by Christmas. It's just me. I mean, it could be, you could hire a Hall of Famer as a first-time head coach, but I don't know. The whole thing doesn't make sense, but I get it. I guess just you got to go find something better. Mike Vorkunov, appreciate your time. Enjoy your NBA Finals, and who cares about the ratings? Just my humble opinion. But I thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Happy finals to you and yours.
Thank you to you and yours as well. For those who celebrate, Mike Vorkunov, everybody.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show live weekdays from 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern on Roku Sports Channel in the U.S.